to another video. Today we are looking at Chinese copycat cars. Cars made by Chinese automakers trying to knock off American vehicles, right? For example, we have the wonderful Beijing BJ80, or the BJ80, which is lovely. Now, I want you to guess exactly what car this is a copycat of. You don't need time. It is, of course, a copycat of the Land Rover, or more specifically, the Land Rover Sport. I mean, just look at it. Now, I specifically chose the Sport over the regular Land Rover because the Sport's a little bit shorter. It has more of a Sport-like stature compared to this. There's also some G-Wagon in there, but that's more for simplicity's sake and less for copycat's sake. Boy, are those small hinges. So yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at today. It's going to be a very fun video. Huansu C60. What car is this knocking off? I love how it's got two. So it looks like the bumper line should be there, and yet the bumper line's there because there's this, but then there's also that. Also, why are the headlights so blunt? They look like they're off of some sort of Audi, and then they just put them here and was like, yeah, we'll figure the rest out later. And why does it have an Aston Martin grille? All questions, that you can ask, but if you look at it, glance over it, here's the instructions to see the car that it looks like, right? Look at this, just set the computer down, and then walk around the world so that you're facing the opposite direction, and then close your eyes, and it will look exactly like a Lamborghini Urus. Now, I see what they were trying to go for here. Like, you can see there's this big intruding black plastic thing here. On the Lambo, it's a little bit less intrusive, but you know what they're going for, that little thing down there compared to the little thing on the back. You can see what they're going for. So, yeah. There's also another Landwing. This is obviously another dupe of the Evoque. I think this one looks more like an Evoque. Could be a later sport model, though. Landwing. I love the name Landwing. It's so not imaginative. The next car is the Shuanghuan SCEO. Now, this is one that I don't know what it is about this particular car, but the second I saw this, I audibly laughed because I saw 3 different cars in it. It's also got this bum. Now, the back of it is what a lot of people talk about, but I want to talk about the front because this is essentially a combination of 3 different cars. Now, if you look at the overall facial structure and the way that the body looks like, cut the body right there and take the entire front section, I believe it looks like a first-generation Kia Picanto. There's something about the Picanto that I think it's the bumper line there and the shape of the headlights and fog lights and position that makes it look so like this. It looks so similar, and with the striped grille and everything, and that very blunt standing-up windshield compared to the two. I think that's what really makes me think that one is. But also, you'll notice there's a little bit oddity to this, right? This is more, it's an American, well, it's obviously a Korean car, but it's a more American-style car. They ain't selling this thing in Korea. And you can kind of see that throughout the design. And it looks normal. This doesn't look normal, and it has a little bit of wild cardness to it, by which I mean it has large wheels, and it's higher off the ground. So I also think there's some Via Cross in there. I don't know what it is about the Via Cross. I love the Via Cross, by the way. I think there's a Via Cross with the face of a Picanto, and that's what that is. Because you can see around the bubbliness, around the sides and edges. I think that's really where it looks like a Via Cross there. But the back obviously looks like a 2005 BMW X5. I just chose 2005 because that's the most satisfying thing. And also, if you're familiar with Shuanghuan and watch Whistling Diesel, and you watch Aging Wheels, you will obviously know that Shuanghuan also made the Shuanghuan Noble, a car that was used to make the Wigo, but more importantly, a knockoff of the first generation Smart 42. The Smart 42 is a pretty interesting car. I think I should make a video about it. It's so neat and so interesting of a car, yet so ugly at the same time. I don't know what it is. Some cars, a lot of times I root for the ugliest cars, or what people would consider to be the ugliest cars, and other times I see cars that people think look normal, and I think that's so hideous. This is one of those times where I think it's ugly. It's cute and endearing. It's so ugly, it's cute, right? So yeah, obviously a knockoff. I do like how this is higher off the ground, though. It's a little bit weirder, and it's a much bigger car, which I like, but strangely higher off the ground than the smart car. The next car on this list, wow, I'm sure you cannot guess it. Off-center logo and all. Now, if you're an American, you probably have no idea what this is, but it is, of course, it is a dupe of the Volkswagen Up, or Lupo. Well, it was the Up, but it was formerly the Lupo. I made a video just trying to see, because at the beginning of this channel, I wanted to kind of gauge if the people that were watching my videos were informed or if they were just watching it for entertainment purposes. That way I could gauge my content. So I made a completely false video about the Volkswagen Up, a completely entirely false history, and treated it like a normal video. I did not include the Lupo, which was the predecessor to this vehicle, at all. Didn't talk about the Lupo once. Just said that they created it outright and got mad that they discontinued it. And people noticed. So now I know to be, straight on my facts and that people actually watch this for information purposes and not entertainment. Well, a mix of both, right? Not just kids on their iPads. So yeah, it's obviously a up dupe. So, up dupe. That's interesting. The next one is the Yomogo 330. I'm sure you can't tell. Now, when I saw this thing, it really looked like a Mitsubishi Mirage just because of the shape. But the more that I looked, it actually looks more like a Kia Picanto. The Kia Picanto, and there are some other cars like this, are cars that when I'm not looking at it, I forget that it exists. And that's definitely what happened with the Picanto. The Picanto. And boy, does the new one look hideous. But yeah, I forgot that it existed until, I didn't even notice it with this dupe. But yeah, it looks exactly like a Kia Picanto. And it's funny that Kia would be the ones being knocked off here, as they're usually the ones doing the knocking off. And the last one is the Zotye. Now, the Zotye T600 is supposedly going to be sold in the US. I think they said that about a year ago. I can't buy a Zotye right now, so I don't think that's ever going to happen. But if you have a prying eye and can see and look really deep behind the skin, you can see a 2015 Volkswagen Tiguan. Just one thing about the Tiguan, if you drive this car, it's a decent car. Why are they up and right? They don't look good. It doesn't look good, Volkswagen. It doesn't look durable. It doesn't look tough. We all know it's just a regular SUV. But yeah, so I'm not sure that any of these really surprised you, because they are so blatant. Some of these are really hard to find, like, especially here in America with Google and everything, even though I'm using it through Opera. Like the Yomogo 330 has this many images, and about 4 of them are about the Yomogo 330. Then there's some music and a Batman figurine. So, and some delicious looking desserts. Delicious. So yeah, a lot of these are very obscure, and I did use an article from Motor One to help me with these, because believe it or not, I'm American, and I would have no idea about any of this. So with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys real soon.